Hello. So, dang it. Step one, make a knot.
He said make a knot.
Then, 3 needles. Sink!
No, I don't have time for
Cast on 12 stitches on each needle. Good boy. So, it's kind of tricky to do. But, like, you could just watch and then double tap the screen on the left to go back a little bit. It should work like that. So, I'm just counting the stitches here. Okay, so you could just hold it like this and then cast on stitches like that onto the next needle. I think I saw someone do it kind of like this one time, but just hold it however you really want to hold it, and that feels good to your hands. It's kind of impossible to not feel awkward when you're casting on stitches on multiple needles instead of in a round, the magic loop. Okay, so I've just gotten all of the stitches on, so it's 36 stitches total, but with 12 stitches on each needle. So now you have to join everything so that you're technically knitting in the round, which is very easy to do. It's not as hard as it looks. You don't have to do exactly like I'm doing it right here. Here, I'm just simply just knitting onto, like, the one that I first made a loop for. So, yeah, look, see, you could just see that. I know other people, they'll, like, cast on all their stitches, and then they'll do one extra stitch, and then do, like, a little tricky doodad. And, I don't know, they just do it a certain way, but this is how I do it. So, sorry, just kind of skipped ahead there. All I did was just knit and purl and knit and purl. So I think I stopped knitting on that needle with purling, so now I'm knitting, and again, I'm starting by knitting. So now I'm just knitting and purling all the time on the whole thing. See, I skipped again there, skipped ahead. But you just, that's just what the pattern says right here, so you just, it's a lot easier than hopefully I'm making it look. It looks like I just finished knitting. Okay, yeah, I just did one round. I'll see if I can make a video on how to knit and purl. Basically, so if this pattern, if you have this pattern, it says to just knit and purl, do a ribbed cuff for, like, I did 22 rows. You could do longer. I personally recommend doing a longer cuff. And you'll be able, you don't have to worry about running out of yarn. This doesn't take a lot of yarn on this thing. Oh, the needle size is, like, I think 3.75 or 325. Something, it's like standard. You probably have this knitting needle size. So it's kind of just regular, normal size. Okay, so what I'm doing here, sorry, is, so you have your tail, and it's kind of long, it's in the way, but I'm just kind of showing how I'm weaving it in, or knitting it in as I knit, so that I don't have to weave it in at the end of the project, because I personally find that part really annoying. So you don't have to do this at all. You could just weave it. It's not too much trouble to weave it in. It really doesn't matter how you deal with the tail end. You could take care of it, take care of the problem now or later. It kind of doesn't really matter. It's kind of like your homework. It's gonna get done anyway, hopefully. That's just, I was just showing how I was doing that. Okay, so right here, so where that light blue string is, right there, that's the stitch after it. That's the starting stitch. So I just put that there as like a marker. You don't have to do that, but okay, so what I'm doing here is, so you cast on all the stitches onto 3 needles. And then personally, when when I start knitting around and around, transferring all the needles, I'll just do this. I personally find this a little bit faster and just makes it go by faster knitting. Because knitting the cuff, that's probably the most boring part and maybe the hardest part about this, because it's just kind of boring and purling is not fun. I'd much rather knit than purl. That I don't like purling. Purling's kind of it's I don't find it the funnest. Okay, so sorry. This is very fast. So I just knit a bunch. This should be 22 rows. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm counting them. This should be about 22 rows. I'm looking at this now. I'm recording this like months later after I filmed this, and I'm just thinking that is just way too short for a cuff. I would never. That's just kind of a piece of crap. So I personally recommend maybe like, I don't know, 30 rows or something. But it's up to you. If you like shorter cuffs, you can even do shorter than this. Like, I could see like a style where you knitted a cuff that was like half as long as the one I'm knitting right now, and that would look nice, I think. But so this is just 22 rows. What am I doing now? I think I'm just knitting. So I think in this I've knitted the cuff, and now I'm just knitting. Yeah. Okay, so that's the next part in the pattern where you knit so you knit the cuff, and then you just knit for a certain amount of rows. I'll see you in the next video.